Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up, what up? It's Main Man here, half up for our daily, nightly show, man. Where, look, man, it is what obviously I think, Nick, this is your first time on this whole thing. So, because look,
Yes.
I just decided that, look, man, everyone is at home, everyone is looking for content, everyone is sort of fighting boredom. So I said, let me just do a nightly show based on just topics, whatever topics are interesting, whatever guys want to talk about. So this is very, very chilled. It's very, very chilled. Nothing is like, put wherever. So we can pretty much just. So obviously, I've got general things, but this is very much interactive with what guys are saying, and it's very much a back and forth. So again, yesterday I asked the guys, okay, what do you want to talk about?
Mm.
A lot of people definitely want to delve into this whole Tupac thing, and I picked out because I picked out Tupac and I picked out Beyonce because I do want to have my viewpoints and my thoughts on Beyonce, and I want to see what Nick has to say. So let's just start off first with your boy here, Tupac. Is Tupac the GOAT? Now let me just kick things off. Now, when you speak to most people and you ask them to name them their top five or their top three, more often than not, Tupac is there. More often than not, Tupac is there, and his fans are some of the most passionate and loyal fans that you will meet. Where there are people that, like, if you say to a girl that, yeah, I really like Jay-Z, like, okay, I really like Nas. There's just something like, if you say you don't, even if you say, oh, I don't like Biggie, when you say, oh, I don't like Tupac, the way his fans will react to you, like, whoa, damn. So this is what I've always had with Tupac, because I made it a point to actually listen to some of his albums before I came, just to reclaim with his music. But what I've always held all the way through is I have never liked a Tupac album. I've never liked a single Tupac album. Like, I've never been able to sit through from back to front, listen to an entire Tupac album. And again, this obviously will not get bumped to my issue that I have with Tupac and everything. But what I've always said is that he has made some of the best songs I've ever heard. Like, literally, if you to ask me what is the best rap song you've ever heard, for me, one of them will be "Do for Love." Like, "Do for Love." Obviously, "Changes" is a cheesy answer. I say "Do for Love" is my best rap song. And again, I listened to it again today. Lyrically, one of the best written rap songs ever is "Keep Your Head Up."
Yeah.
Like, the writing on that is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Just the poetic language, or just how he's able to convey his message across that is incredible. But I think when we now talk about this whole thing of greatness, I want to kick it over to Nick then. But let me just say, this is how I would define greatness before we now decipher whether Tupac really is the GOAT. So for me, greatness isn't about skill. Because if it is purely about skill, then we'll say, okay, who is the most skilled rapper? Muhammad Ali wasn't technically the best boxer. You could argue that Floyd Mayweather is technically one of the best boxers of all time, but nobody would ever call Floyd Mayweather one of the greatest boxers of all time.
They're not 50-0. Exactly.
But normally, it's not. It might be due to his personality, why people don't want to view him as great, because that is greatness. 50-0 is his greatness. But I just think that people never put him in that go-to conversation alongside a Tyson or an Ali, specifically an Ali. But with regards to rap, I think greatness is, how did you transcend the genre? Did you take things beyond the genre? Did you become bigger than the actual genre? And did you do things that really push things forward? So did you come out of the bubble or the confines of whatever your genre was? Jordan is the GOAT because a lot of people know basketball because of Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan popularized basketball. Pele, you could argue, is the GOAT because Pele was the first football superstar, and the guys who know nothing about football know who Pele is. So when you now talk about, so when you now define that, it even gets even much more difficult. So for you, Nick, how would you then define greatness with regards to rap?
I think you're right. It's, for me, it's about legacy. When you finish rapping, do people still talk about you? When you're dead and gone, are people still gonna be talking about you? The fact that we even still talk about Ali, anytime boxing gets mentioned, you talk about heavyweights, and the fact that Ali's name gets mentioned, when you consider that people my age, me, you, we didn't see Ali box, but we talk about Ali. So the fact that we even talk about the likes of Tupac, the likes of Biggie, who died when I was like maybe 4, 5. So I didn't grow up per se on them. When I got older, I listened back to them. But why is it that we're still talking about the likes of Tupac? Because they have a legacy. And you have to ask, what do they leave behind? There's a lot of rappers who I'll say, yeah, more skilled than Tupac, but we don't talk about them. So how great were they? I'm not talking about how skilled you were as a rapper, because I remember my brother used to always say, there's probably 100 men in Brazil who's more skilled than Ronaldinho.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason, they didn't make us professional footballers. You can't call them the greatest of all time because they got skill. What did you do with that skill? And I think, first and foremost, Tupac is a skilled rapper. He's not the most skilled, but he's a skilled rapper.
Oh, no, he is.
And I think the reason why his greatness is more than just his ability to rap, is the story, the way he tells a story, and the variety of the content of his lyrics. He's not just a one-trick pony. And he's, I think, not only is he known outside of rap, even within rap, there is still factions. You get people who prefer the gangster, hardcore kind of rap, and you get those who like the positive, that kind of rap. And Tupac covers them both. I got you, and I got you. It doesn't make a difference. He's got you. And there's not many rappers who do that. You look at, I would say, the two, rappers who go head to head. It's usually Tupac, Biggie. Biggie was one type of rapper. If you didn't,
only one type.
Would you listen to Biggie when your mum's in the room? You probably couldn't. It's too much. It's too much, negativity and too much expletives going on. You can play a number of Tupac songs that you can play around children, and that will still impact adults. So I think, yeah, when it comes to greatness, it's all about legacy and how people talk about you when it's all done.
Well, no, I think for me, that is a box that Tupac ticks in terms of how people have talked about him, because people will say, oh, well, if any kind of like big rapper dies, we'll talk about them. I don't think people talk about Biggie, Big L, Big Pun in the same way that they do Tupac. I just think they don't, because of their content. Because again, Big L was an incredibly skilled rapper. Big Pun is insane. But you look at the content of what Big Pun, Big L, and Biggie did. It's so funny. They're all called Big. Like, the content was very limited. It wasn't very vast. But back to the whole Tupac thing, it's like this. And I think you even sort of touched upon this when we did the Dugout stream. I have no connection to when you're talking about gangster stuff and thug life and thug West Side, East Side, and everything. And for me, it's like, maybe it's just me. Like, I'm finding it hard to listen to the kind of West Side, East Side songs that Tupac does, because I remember I just remember what happened. Okay. Because all this anger that he had is what led to his unfortunate demise. So listening to that is like, because for me, I'm like, my gosh, because again, we can touch about the whole movie thing afterwards with regards to what I think Tupac would have done if he was still alive, and he had gone away of how he would have changed films. But specific to this is that I think when you look at the album, as you said, like 100%, he had a split personality. And even when you see people who knew him and so forth, whenever you see Scarface talk about him or you see Tyson talk about him, they say he was very intense. That 1 minute he can be this most introspective, insightful person. The other time he just wants to go crazy and go mad. So, because you say that is another aspect of his greatness, that he was able to cater so well to two different audiences, i.e. the guys that wanted the gangster stuff and the guys that wanted the conscious stuff. But my main thing is that does the content of the gangster stuff still form a strong argument for him to be great? Or was it just more about a guy just riding off his emotions?
I think for me, Tupac was real. There's a lot of rappers out there who rap what you might say the public want to hear, what sells. Tupac, for me, rapped what was real to him. And the reason why, even though I don't live that life, the reason why I can relate to the you might say the thug life that Tupac was talking about, and someone in the comments said thug life is actually the hate you gave little infants f's everybody. So for him, it wasn't as simple as I'm on the road, this is the gang shit, That he understood, yes, we are living this kind of life, but how did we get here? What is it that happened? Who was it that forced us into a situation where we're having to sell drugs, gangbang, etc., etc.?
Because I was listening to that song, White Man's World.
Yeah. Same thing. So it's exactly that. And so he was while rapping about that aspect of his life or that aspect of the street, you knew where it was coming from because he explained that. Whereas a lot of other people, look at someone like Biggie. Biggie lived the life that he spoke about out of choice. He went to, I don't know if it was a private school, but his mum was well off. She had a job. Everything was good. He went to school. He didn't have no problems in his life. He chose this life because it was fashionable. Tupac didn't choose this life. The life chose Tupac. So I feel the pain that he's rapping about because it's real to him. He's in that same struggle because he grew up in a family that were Black Panthers. His mother, Afina, his godmother, Asata Shakur, and his godfather, is it Matula? I think Matulu, his name is. That's the background he came from. But through different things that happened in his life as a child, his life kind of went in another direction. So he was always in this battle between the two. And I think that in itself is something that a lot of people I was growing up with were struggling with, because you might have what you might look like a good home life, you might think, but their parents are working X amount of jobs. Is their mum actually at home when they get there? Are they having to take to the streets because they haven't got the support that I might have or someone else might have? And I think Tupac he really just touched on the climate that the people were living in, as opposed to jumping on a bandwagon that will just promote negativity and sell songs.
Okay, let me just hit a few comments. Says as not the GOAT, but most influential worldwide. I don't know how. No, for me, popularity, yes. I don't know how influential he has been. I'm not sure he will be
more influential worldwide.
What would I say is the most influential worldwide? You mean dead or alive or dead?
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive. Do you want to be real? The two most impactful, influential rappers, I believe, are Rakim and Nas. They changed how rap was done. Like for me, like if you think about it, there was rap before Rakim and rap after Rakim. And Nas advanced what Rakim did, like the way people rapped, as in the structure of how they rapped and so forth within the rhythm and how they put words into bars. There was Rakim revolutionized how you wrote raps.
I would argue those two may have had a bigger impact on rap itself, but in terms of worldwide, which means globally,
beyond the page.
Yeah, beyond rap, Tupac's reach was much further. But yeah, I agree. Within rap, those two definitely revolutionized the rap itself. I was gonna say, you mentioned about Tupac albums. I love Tupac. I love Tupac, and for me, actually the other day I actually listened to his whole All Eyes on Me double-sided album.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Now, to be fair, there's some songs on there that it's like, well, it's not great, but I just play it because I know there's gonna be one, very soon that I really jam to. And I think I was working at the time. I'm not really changing songs every so often. But for me, that's not even his greatest album. I think it's sold the most, but it's not his greatest album. For me, Me Against the World was his best album. And both of those albums had there's enough songs on there for me that I'm like, he was very, very clued up about what was going on in America. What were the things that were affecting Black and poor people in America? Who were in charge? What their agenda was for those people? etc. But then if you want the gangster stuff, his last album, which obviously came out when after he died, 7 Day Theory, Illuminati, that was some real greasy stuff. Obviously, it was after he came out from of jail, and his head was just like he was done. It was like anyone can get it. I don't care. And obviously, Suge Knight's feeding into that as well because it's going to make money. And that album had like Me and My Girlfriend, the one that Jay-Z and Beyonce bit.
Yeah, I know this beat.
Listen, Tupac went in on that. And I always say, people's like, yeah, but some people are, but you don't always want that positive stuff. I said, Tupac for me made the greatest diss track of all time. And he killed Biggie, killed him. And it wasn't even just, he said, listen, let me bring my little homies on this because I'm too much for you lot. And they finished it. So Tupac has just got anything for everyone. Is he the most skilled? No. But for me, music is much more than that because there's a lot of people who can rap fast. We spoke about one the other day, rap fast and put a lot of words into a short, bar or whatever it is. But what are you actually saying? What are you actually telling me? How am I benefiting from this other than realizing that, yeah, you can speak faster than I can?
No, see, my thing here is that I don't know what you think about this because remember, he began with the Digital Underground. And that is where he Keep Your Head Up was I think he did like an album just by himself when he was with the Digital Underground group in '93. But I said to myself, okay, what if, let's say, he never worked with Suge and so forth? What if he just went on this path, this singular path? He never went to jail. He never went to all this kind of stuff. What kind of rapper would he be? Would he still be impactful? It's like, did he need the thug life West Side persona and be the image of the West Side in order to blow him up? Or could he have relied based on just his amazing skills and poetic skills as a writer to still be impactful? Did that whole thug, because for me, my thing is that I do get that, because again, look, I am actually going to use this time to even dig deeper into his lyrics, because for me, like, I'm one of those guys where the beat has to be musically good. That's why whenever they did like the remixes and released the albums, the song is different. So wait a minute, these are the exact same lyrics, but once you put a different beat upon it, it's a different song. Like, trust me, changes. I'm sure he did that to a different beat, which wasn't very good, but that beat just augmented the words and lyrics. So I think maybe what happens for me is that once I hear the beat and the beat isn't popping off, I'm like, but then am I doing it to the service because I'm not listening to exactly what he's saying and the words that he's saying? Because for me, whenever I hear that whole thing of like, all right, like Hail Mary, all that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, this is just him trying to be the whole tough big guy. I'm like, that's not my thing. But as you say, maybe there's a subliminal message where sort of like it's like this, where you're catering for both crowds. I'm going to give you the tough stuff, but within that tough stuff, those people look beyond the tough stuff. There's still something for you here within this tough stuff because I'm giving you double, triple meanings.
I think because of the times that he lived in, for him to have the impact that he did, he had to have the gangster stuff because that was the reality of America at the time. So if he wasn't rapping about that, not that you couldn't make it, but you would easily get lost. I think you could easily get lost in it because there's been rappers before him who were, purely much more, you might say conscious rappers. KRS-One, for example, he was very much so. You had, before all of that, Africa Bambaataa. But
I'm going way back now, man.
And I don't want to even shout out Africa Bambaataa too much because there's been a lot of scandal regarding that. I don't know if you're aware of some of those scandals there, but nobody speaks about them unless you're really in the hip hop. You have to really be in the hip hop before you speak about it.
Okay. My question is because for me, whenever I make a top 5, I always put KRS-One because KRS-One is vital to hip hop and the culture. He's a vital voice. Now, my thing is that, again, it's the same question that I ask. If Tupac didn't have the West Side Thug Life persona, is he as revered
No,
as he is now?
no, no, it's not. Because okay, when you think about it, I know you put KRS One, but how many people do? Which how
Only
many?
hip hop heads. Only
Yeah,
only hip hop heads.
yeah.
If you're not a hip hop head, you don't even know who the hell KRS One is.
How many of people's usual top 5 are just talking positive lyrics? They're not. Most people's top 5, you'll have Biggie, you have Jay-Z, you might have a Snoop. Some people might have Snoop in there. These people ain't talking that revolutionary.
Mm.
They're writing, I would say, to feed into what is popular at the time. Now, even though Jay-Z's because he's on another level to the regular, he can speak about that. But because people are then also aspiring, they want, the money, and he's talking about all the artwork. And so this is like, yeah, he's boasting about his lifestyle that he's living in a bit more, not talking about blinging out, but in a bit more sophisticated way. But he's feeding into that hype. I think the times that he was in, Tupac had to be relatable. And if he didn't have any of those kind of songs or those lyrics, could people relate to him? And they wouldn't be able to relate to him in the same way. I think his market would have been much more reduced if he didn't have those lyrics. And again, as I say, I don't think he did those tracks because just to sell, to be relatable.
Mm.
This was a life that he was living when etc. That was, it may have been spurred on or geared by other people, pushed and that kind of stuff, egged on, but it was a reality for him at the time.
Okay, so I want to throw something at you, but let me just read. The Real Deal says Brixton, Bolton, UK, Sydney, USA, Cape Town, Tupac morals. No, 100%. Like the guy has morals all around, everywhere, man. So let me throw something at you now. Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
See, now, I have come out and said that now Jay-Z isn't my favorite rapper.
Mm.
He isn't my favorite rapper. My favorite rapper is Pharoah Monch, or you can throw in like a Nas or a KRS One.
Mm.
But I say that if we're talking about GOAT, I think that Jay-Z might actually be the greatest rapper of all time based on longevity, relevancy, skill, versatility, and so forth. Because you can almost find a Jay-Z, whether he's conscious, whether he's saying messages, whether he has a club party track, whether he's done like a feature track and so forth. But then you say to yourself that if we're now comparing Jay-Z to a Tupac, it's unfair for Tupac because we don't know what would have happened if he had kept on going. So then this is now where I now go into another level now. If Tupac wasn't killed and he kept on going, first of all, I feel rap changes. The landscape of rap is different if Tupac is still alive. But my main thing is that
if Tupac and Biggie were alive, Jay-Z doesn't become Jay-Z.
Yeah,
Jay-Z,
no, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Off Biggie.
No. That's like such an amazing what if scenario because again, like for me, if Biggie and Jay-Z were still alive, Nas still exists.
Yeah,
but in a different form.
Remember, they were trying to unite the East. They had the East Coast and West Coast death row. The East and West death row. And I remember, I think it's his last interview. He kind of he goes at Nas, like he goes, them guys there who are trying to create this divide. We're trying to unite East and West under death row. So it will be a completely different landscape.
Well, no. Yeah, I think, as you said, like there'd be no space for Jay-Z because once Biggie and Tupac left, there was a power vacuum, which Jay-Z filled. But if Biggie and Thing are there, Jay-Z is just really another rapper there who, he does his thing and everything, but the superstars are pretty much well defined in both Biggie and Tupac. But my thing though is that Tupac was very much into film, and I think Tupac was developing to become a very good actor, and a really good actor. So, and my belief was, I think that Tupac would have slowly, gradually gone away from rap and gone more into film, because I think even before rap, he was in the arts.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yeah.
was in art school and so forth. So really acting and everything was something that he always somewhat did. So I feel like if he would have dipped in and out of rap, but he would have, because remember, it's happening now. Look at how many rappers, like
Yeah.
Common is now an actor. Ludacris.
Yeah, yeah.
Chris Bridges is a full-on actor now. So Tupac was really the first guy that was really doing the whole I'm the rapper actor thing. So in that sense, then, if Tupac had then gone further into acting and so forth, could we still then say, yeah, this guy is still the GOAT rapper based on the material he's put out?
I'm going to use a football analogy. If you take four players, and these are the sort of four rappers, you got Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, and four players: Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Cristiano, and Messi. See, I would say Biggie's Ronaldinho, Tupac is Ronaldo, R9 that is, Jay-Z is Cristiano, and Nas is Messi. Messi is more talented than Cristiano, but Cristiano has done it from time.
Yeah.
Across genres, across clubs, leagues, etc., etc. And now we may look at someone's peak and say, Illmatic, this is the greatest. This is, Jay-Z's never produced anything like this. But then if you look at everything across the board, if you add it all up, which is better? Is the peak the most important, or is it the fact that you've been consistent from your first to your last? Now,
that's the thing.
And it's not pure. Sales is a number. Cool. It means that you are relatable. People are respecting you. And if you can do that from start to finish, I respect that. But it's not the be all and end all. It's not, and especially in hip hop, it's definitely not the be all and end all. If anything, it's the last thing you use to make an argument in hip hop when it comes in terms of sales. But it's relevant if you're going to talk about Jay-Z, because he has that. But also, I think what Jay-Z has over everyone is his influence in rap. We spoke about Rakim, spoke about Nas in terms of how they influence rap and hip hop. Jay-Z has influenced hip hop beyond the mic in terms of
business,
Rock Nation. He had a beef with Nas. For me, he lost the beef and then he signed Nas. You might say chess, not checkers. So, because of his influence in hip hop goes well beyond the record. If someone says to me Jay-Z's the GOAT, I'm not even going to argue, because that argument is not about purely what we hear in terms of lyrics. If we're talking about lyrics, Jay-Z ain't there. He's not at the top. He's very good, very good.
But but he doesn't say a lot of stuff, man. He's not saying much.
But because of, like you said, his longevity, and whether like I said, R9, he has injuries. That's not Jay-Z's. It's not Jay-Z's fault. Biggie's dead, but Biggie's dead, and here he is. It's not Ronaldo and Messi's fault that Ronaldinho, finished early and Ronaldo got injured. R9 got injured, but they're just doing what they have to do. And I think, Jay-Z has an argument, and if anyone says it, I'm not gonna argue against it. But I still put Tupac there because the influence he had in just the time that he was there. When you think about it, he had what? Strictly for Mine, Tupacalypse, Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, and 7 Day Theory. I think it's 5 albums he's got. To make those 5 albums in that short period alone, that's gold material. Now, I'm not saying each album is the greatest album you've heard, but he made 5 albums in a short period of time.
So listen to Machiavelli. See, I began listening to Machiavelli. Very dark album, like really, really somber. So, and again, I just told you, it's very difficult for me to get through a Tupac album, because I'm like, all right, it's just not hitting with me. It's just not hitting with me as much as like the other kind of tracks and everything else. So so what do you think was being said, or what do you think the message was put on critical. For me, to me, Machiavelli felt like it makes a lot of sense. They said this was when he came out of prison.
Yeah.
And also remember, album covers are huge. People don't just put album covers or anything. There's a lot of meaning behind the album covers. And I think in the album cover, they said, no, this is not supposed to depict Jesus Christ and anything or so forth. So obviously, in his mind, even from the album cover and from the content, it's a sense of like, I'm almost sacrificing myself. I'm putting myself, I have suffered, I've taken these beatings in order for something. I'm happy to shoulder these beats and everything for something. But for me, I felt there was a lot of anger in that album and so forth. And whenever you see, this is my thing with an album. I need a story. I need a direction. Like the reason why I say Illmatic is one of the greatest albums of all time. Forget about rap, but one of the greatest albums of all time is that Illmatic is a story. There is a spine that runs through from the very beginning to the very end of that, and you can simply say, "Boom! This is what it's about." And I think for Tupac stuff, it's very, as you say, like you just pick great song, great song, great song, great song. Okay, boom! I can give you 3 4 amazing songs with superb writing. This stuff I'm not too sure. So, what do you think was about Machiavelli?
Well, I definitely think you could do that with Machiavelli because I think he's got from Machiavelli. There's about 3 singles, and I would, which is I think Hail Mary's one, To Live and Die in LA is what another one. I can't remember which another one is, but then Life of an Outlaw, White Man's World, Me and My Girlfriend, Hold Your Head, Against All Odds. Like, I think this album is deep. It really is deep. I think he's come out.
The lyrics to Me and My Girlfriend, man, those are some. Those were pretty.
But listen, they were, and the thing with that is that when I listen to Machiavelli, it's like as I get older, I'm understanding it more and more and more. So I'm like, this is what he's talking about. This is what I think. Tupac at that stage of his life was very angry, very, very angry, and it's like he had a lot to get off his chest. He just needed to get this out, and then maybe then continue with his life or continue with whatever. Or if this was the last thing that he was gonna do, as you said, the album cover, you see the crucifixion. If this is the last thing he's gonna do, this is gonna go out with a bang. I need to listen to the album again. I haven't listened to it for a while, but for me, I can listen to it cover to cover, no qualms, whatever, because I think throughout it, I feel Tupac. I don't think he's trying to make he's trying to make a song for the people. It was going to sell. I think Tupac is just giving everything that's inside, everything that's been bottled up all that time, and he's letting it all out on the track. And I think when it comes to rap, I don't think there's anything better.
See, for me, this is again. I think this is just where I stand, and this is why I said, like, Tupac is a GOAT in a certain sense. I will still say, and look, I will listen to it again and try again and again. I will still say that from where I stand right now, I don't think he's made a great album. Back to front, I don't think he's made a great album. But for me, I don't think any rapper has made as many good individual tracks as him. I don't think any rapper has written as well as him. And for me, that is in a sense particular greatness. So you could even say he has the greatest pen in rap. And people will say, "Oh my gosh, what about all these other school rappers who bring all this?" It's not about you using big words. Like you can what's it called that, like the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, the darker the skin, the deeper the roots. That's just a very simple thing that isn't complicated.
Yeah.
They're not, but it means so much. Even again, like him saying, like, even a genius asks questions. That's just one line, but it's such a powerful line that just makes you think. So, and that for me is amazing writing. Great writing is where you can say 100 things in 5 words. So just in 5 words, you can think about 100 different things.
You know why I would say for me Tupac's the GOAT, and why I would say he's had great albums. To sell positivity, not easy. I think all the best selling rappers, what were they talking about? What were they actually rapping about? But All Eyes on Me, if I'm, I mean, I could, I don't, I want to, I could be wrong. Is that the highest selling hip hop album? All Eyes on Me, or has Jay-Z got one higher than that? I don't know, but that's about 5 million plus.
Mm.
To sell positivity, and that album, the Double Out's got a lot of positivity on it. Take something, so you must be doing something right. You know, over the 2 albums, you must be doing something right to sell those amount. That means not only is the hip hop world within just appreciating you because you showed that on your previous albums and your albums after that, but then the wider world is also, and your thing ain't aimed at the wider world at all, yet they're appreciating it as well. And I think that says a lot. I will say it's easy to sell negative, or they say sex sells. Negative lyrics sell. That's why, not that I don't rate Biggie. Biggie as a rapper is skilled, but don't tell me that he made 2 great albums. No, he made 2 albums that any gangster rap, not any gangster, but it didn't take much thinking for him to put those 2 albums together.
No. I think the thing with Biggie is
because that's what everyone
was skilled. No, I think like Biggie is so skilled. That is why people revere him so much. Like in terms, I don't think anybody had a better natural flow than Biggie.
Mm.
So it's just that he wasn't saying anything. He literally said nothing. There was nothing profound that he said. Because for instance, I think they said that basically they did like a freestyle, Tupac and Biggie. And Biggie was freestyling thing and Tupac just couldn't freestyle very well. But my thing was that there's one thing about, how good can you do off the dome? Now, that's how good you can do now. You have all the time in the world. What kind of story can you write? Biggie, I don't think his writing was that deep. It was not that sophisticated.
It didn't take much thinking. It really didn't. And so I just seen some of the comments that All Eyes on Me was certified diamond. Yeah, when I was saying 5 million, I was talking US alone. But you're right. And I don't think, I could be wrong, but someone said Marshall Mathers LP. Yeah, so what was he talking about? What was Marshall Mathers talking about on his LP? Tell me, what was he talking about?
No, he was talking about beating up his mom, throwing his baby mom. You see now, and this is a great segue, but before we obviously get a little bit into this, see now, when you now bring in, because a lot of people on Twitter have been bugging me and you, Eminem, you can say Eminem. When you're looking at what we've now been discussing with Tupac so far, it's about the writing and about what he's saying and about the kind of message he's pulling across. For me, Eminem is a gimmick. So I like Eminem to like a pop artist. He is an amazing pop artist, but in terms of a rapper who is writing and a poet who is really saying things, deep, profound things, and teaching things, Eminem is not in the discussion or the conversation. So when Tupac wants to really write and say stuff, I don't think any rapper has been able to do it as well as him. And even for me, and that's why I just say that he has to have a special place, because if you look at Keep Your Head Up, Brenda's Got a Baby, Do for Love, these are talking about me against all. These are all very different things. And the storytelling quality that he has in all of these tracks is simply incredible. Like Do for Love, like the way he tells that story in Do for Love is amazing. And again,
even wonder why they call you. You wonder why they call you. You wonder why they call you. I'm not gonna swear.
Okay.
Have
you heard If My Homies Call?
Yeah.
If My Homies Call. That's a great track. That's a great track. So some of the singular songs that he's made is superb. But I just think in terms of just can you see how fast Eminem raps? Yeah, there's speed rap.
To hip hop, Joe.
Okay, so just to round this up before we go to this other one, so you would still say Tupac is your ultimate GOAT, taking everything into account?
Yeah, I think the impact he made in what was relatively a short period of time, considering he died at what, 26?
Yeah, man.
And the impact that he made is unprecedented, really unprecedented.
No, I mean, for me, it's difficult You know, I would still say from an objective point of view, taking every single thing into account, you would have to still say Jay-Z taking every single thing into account. But in terms of impact, because I think you do make a good point. You can't just use because he's died or death just amplifies you because Biggie was literally as big as him. Biggie and Tupac were literally at the same, really as big as each other. And people see Biggie is really a New York thing. New York people are the ones that really revere him. But Tupac, now, okay, now let me, before we leave on this, let me ask you this now. Oh, 25, sorry. 25 was dead. I told you, Tupac fans, man, this guy. Sorry, look, guys, I'm sorry, Tupac fans. I'm sorry, please, I'm sorry. So, do you think now Tupac? I agree, worldwide huge. So for the white dude who doesn't really listen to rap, doesn't really mess with black culture or so forth, but you see him wearing the Machiavelli shirt, see him listen to the whole Tupac thing and everything, and seems, oh my, Tupac is one of my, but he doesn't really listen to any other rap. How do you think he connects with it? Because I've seen so many guys like that who, I know you only listen mainly to rock music. I know you don't really listen to rap as well. I know that you're a bit funny around black people, but you love Tupac. So why does he resonate to those white people, particularly, as opposed to a KRS-One, a Nas, and so forth?
Are those people? Because there are white revolutionaries out there, and when I say that, it's those people who are anti-establishment. There's a lot of white people who are anti-establishment. Tupac was anti-establishment, so those I would suspect is those people who he's relating to. There's a lot. There's, like, they don't have to walk around, Black Power. But if you gave them the opportunity, they'll say Black Power.
Oh no! You see, this is a key point. Never. You see, for me, I like grunge music, so there are many grunge bands that I like. But you see, Nirvana are a band that's crossed over. So many people who don't listen to grunge music, who don't listen to any other rock music, songs like it's love Lithium and love all of the Nirvana songs. So was Tupac in the same category of he crossed over. He was able to do songs and do things like Nirvana that were beyond rap and so forth.
Someone would have to remind me of a song that I would say crossed over. I mean, Jay-Z's crossed over more, when he does features with the likes of, Linkin Park and that kind of thing. But did Tupac cross over? I don't know. I think Tupac, it's the revolutionary. It's almost Tupac was a rebel. And America's a very hostile place in terms of that you always get spurts of like factions of people coming up who are anti this, anti that, whether it's the green movement or the climate this or Black Lives Matter. There's different things where people always fight, pushing back. And you might not be black and you might not have been abused by the police or grown up in a crack dominated neighborhood, but because he is anti-establishment, that's what they latch onto. What do you think about it? Sorry, just quickly. If you look at even over here in the UK, there's something like grime, which is a music that's come from they will say the urban scene, but it's come from young black men. But if you go to a grime concert now, all you see is a lot of young white boys. Because the grime, and I don't have a problem with it, but the grime, what's the word? The grime, like the characteristics of grime, being rowdy, being, I don't care, whatever. That's what they love. And there's a set of group of people who love that. To hell with you, to hell with the police, I'm gonna do what I want. It's that kind of carefree attitude that it gives off. So you might not be able to relate directly to the lyrics, but you relate to the context of the content.
It's a very good thing that me and my friend, we went to an Onyx concert, and Onyx are they basically know like hardcore rap. Most of the guys at the very front were Eastern European. And this goes like, Onyx, Onyx. these guys don't understand what the hell Onyx are saying, but just what the energy that Onyx represents
Mm.
is something that resonates to a particular group of people. But you know what I would say though? Because I remember exactly when Changes came on the radio.
Okay.
And I think Changes was, because it was such a huge song, I think that was a song that I feel really magnified him. Because guys were like, oh wow, like this is a message we can all get around. Unless you're like a flipping skinhead or a super supremacist. It was such a worldwide message that everybody could connect. And again, this goes back to thinking of rapping. If you've never listened to rap and you try and listen to some of these super skilled rappers, you may get lost. But
Yeah.
Tupac was almost talking to you.
Mm.
So even at a very basic level, you can obviously, not any of the gangster stuff, but you can take some of the Tupac, some of his conscious stuff to like your mother or your grandmother and be like, oh yeah, I can understand this, because he's like speaking to you in very simple words. And again, look, when I was rapping, it was very amateur. As a teenager, it was very amateur rapping. To get your point across in very simple terms in a rhythmic way isn't easy. It's a skill. It's a skill. Using left words is a skill.
A known poet. That was what he did. So the clarity and the simplicity, but the effectiveness of his lyrics, it was all about that. When you're a poet, you have to send out a message without any kind of backing help or anything like that. So it has to be clear, has to be concise, and it has to be direct, straight to the point. And he brought that to the rap. So if you get a good beat behind it and a good flow, then you got the perfect combination.
Okay. Okay. Maybe just last thing on Tupac before we move on. So, do you buy into the conspiracy of it was the government or East-West thing? Some dudes were like, all right, let's just do this, dude.
Not to the same extent, but it is, I would say, it's similar to Malcolm X in the sense that you get someone
yeah,
looks like or who's within that circle to pull the trigger, but you fuel the environment and you create the environment and you fuel the fire to make that possible. They had to get rid of Tupac. Tupac was getting too powerful. His lyrics, his words were reaching a demographic, a group of people, Bloods and Crips, that they didn't want it to reach. And they had to get rid of him. So whether they're going to pull the trigger or they're going to incite that kind of environment to make it possible. So go back to what I said earlier. Look at the family he came from, a Black Panther family. And if you study anything to do with the CIA and FBI and see how they destroyed the Black Panther Party, if someone look at Tupac Shakur now, she's on the most wanted list for terrorists, and she's away in Cuba. Thank God. They would do whatever they can to make sure that family, that Shakur family, ain't impacting America no more. So yeah, I do think they would have got him in the end.
And I think that's why I think I'm now warming more closer to the whole greatness thing, because I'm not looking at the man. Because I say to myself that the closest thing to what Tupac was doing is maybe Kendrick Lamar right now. But I don't think I said the closest thing, not Tupac, closest thing. But the issue is that Kendrick Lamar isn't a threat, because if you're to interview Kendrick Lamar, he doesn't have as much clarity as what Tupac had. When you see Tupac gets interviewed, it's like, my gosh, this guy knows exactly what it's about. Even if he's 20-something-year-old, there is such precise clarity in what he's doing and the points he's making. It's like, no, this guy's dangerous. There is no rapper who you can say, okay, stop the beat, stop the music, mic in your face, what are you going to say? They don't have as much clarity as Tupac had.
Yeah.
So once you have that, because again, for me, as you say, like, he was, you have to be more fearful of the clued in, conscious, intelligent dude than just the talented dude. So I'm not taking anything away from, because Kendrick Lamar is he's a superb musical artist. I don't see him as a leader. I don't see him as a guy who I want to now hear what Kendrick Lamar has to say on this.
But if a movement develops, he will make music to what's the word, to support the movement, because I guess he's that way inclined. But yeah, he's not going to lead that revolution. Tupac vociferously, he publicly made statements saying that they want to make this move, they want to make this change. And you can't have people trying to make a change. They're not going to.
You can't, because look, it is similar to Malcolm X, where like what you don't want is to give Black people confidence. You see, the machine, and then we're not getting a bit deeper now. See, the machine as like, things are good now. Why things are good? What's at the forefront is whether it's a Gucci Mane, Da Baby, it's all this kind of stuff, because the machine wants to dumb down the audience. Let's just say rap is chains, horrible lyrics, let's just get in the club and everything. Kendrick Lamar is cool, but he isn't really that guy as a human being. Really.
He's not at the forefront of hip hop because of
he's not at the, he's not. See, Tupac was fearless.
Yes, but Tupac, even if Kendrick was fearless, as long as he's not at the front of hip hop, it's still, they're not gonna. I say, cool. We just watch him. We watch him. Make sure he doesn't get there. If he does, then we deal with him, because we've seen that before. We don't want that person to get there. Tupac was fearless, and he was also at the front. He was leading. He was him and obviously Biggie, but they were the main guys in hip hop at the time. And yeah,
no, because I think, because I've even me and my brother, we always say this, that what would things have been like if Tupac still lived? Could he still live the way that he was going? Because remember, America was getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Because you say to yourself that, what would a Tupac be like in today's world?
Put like this, I remember I used to ask my mum. I studied a lot of Black history growing up, and the whole Malcolm X thing. Now, obviously, he got basically banned from the Nation of Islam. They silenced him. In the end, it was definitely. So I kept saying, like, all right, why didn't he do this? If he didn't make that statement against John F. Kennedy, then they wouldn't have silenced him. And she's like, no. And I've researched much more as time has gone on. The climate that was created in the Nation of Islam at the time, it was only a matter of time. So that was just the reason they gave, but they would have found another reason to silence him. And Malcolm, it was like, on the day that he died at the Audubon Ballroom, they didn't search the people as they came in. So I'm like, but if they had searched, then they wouldn't be able to kill him. Malcolm knew that they were going to kill him at some point. And for the revolution, he had to be a martyr. He couldn't just, let me go into my house and not make any more public statements because I want to live a long life. That doesn't help anybody. And, if I'm going to die, which I'm going to, I need to be a martyr because the revolution needs to go on. And I think Tupac, if we're talking about if Tupac hadn't was still living today or hadn't been killed when he was, Tupac would have to have silenced himself to survive. And was Tupac willing to do that? No, he wasn't.
No way, man. All right.
I'm happy he wasn't. I don't want to, but we want the real Tupac.
I think maybe on another stream we have to touch on Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, man. Another thing. So I want to go into Beyonce. So look, I hope that there's no one from the Beehive around in this thing right now. So let me just tell you my thing on Beyonce. I was a big fan of Destiny's Child, and huge fan and so forth, because obviously my sister used to buy all the DVDs and everything. Oh, sorry, CDs and stuff. And even back then, I always knew that, this is Beyonce and the three others, because I think Beyonce and Kelly Rowland were the constants too.
Yeah,
and the other two just kept on changing. But even I knew that, look, she is the strongest singer here. She's the strongest singer. And she just grabs your attention because she has presence and she's got a good aura and so forth. So obviously, it was always obvious that she was going to now break off and become like a solo act. And then something just happened where I was like, okay, boom, she's a solo act. And it was almost as if, like, as of overnight, it was just shoved in our faces that she is now the superstar. And again, I just said to myself, well, wait a minute, because one thing I'll never deny is that Beyonce is an amazing singer. But being an amazing singer doesn't make you an amazing artist.
Mm.
Leona Lewis is a superb singer. Why does she have a career?
Mm.
Her artistry may not be so very good. I say this to many people, Kellis isn't the greatest singer. Listen to her first two albums. Kaleidoscope for me is an R&B masterpiece. That's a flipping masterpiece. So, but for Beyonce, I've been trying to figure out why is she loved so much. And my thing that it is to do with a few things and many elements. I mean, 100%. The main thing and the foundation is she's talented, singing wise. She is an amazing singer. But I think beyond that is image. You know, image is definitely a big thing. So she's able to present this image that appeal to women. Men already love her because she's attractive. But for women specifically, who are always there is no more loyal fan base than one woman. Woman, if you get, people say like, get little girls, you're rich. If you can appeal to little girls, because they will support you incredibly loyally. So she's created this image of girls aspire, and girls and women aspire to be her, because she's captured just this energy of womanhood that people say, nah, that is the pinnacle of womanhood that she has. But this is what rubbed me the wrong way. And when I said, you know what, screw the beehive, I'm going to speak up. When when people now said that, you know what, she has now surpassed Michael Jackson in terms of being one of the greatest performers of all time. Then I was like, okay, screw this. So I said, you know what, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch a live Beyonce performance. And as I watched it, see, I know dancing and I know choreography because I grew up 80s, 90s, and so forth. So I saw the stuff what SWV were doing. I saw what Jackson 5 were doing. So I know dancing. Motown was passed down to me from my uncles and my aunts. So I grew up with Motown. So I know what dancing and performance is. Beyonce isn't a good dancer.
You don't think so?
No. Look at Ciara.
Yeah.
Ciara is a very good dancer.
Yeah.
See, that is dancing, where you are technically doing choreographed moves and you're executing them well. Watch some of early SWV videos. Like, watch the original of Right Here, the music video, not the remake, but the original. They're dancing. That is dancing. What Beyonce does isn't really dancing. It is performance, but there isn't anything that you've sit down and truly properly constructed where you say, oh wow, that's amazing. You've done that. But before you even say anything to Michael Jackson, what about Tina Turner? Like, have you seen what Tina Turner does on the stage? Yeah. So, but my thing though is, this is what human culture likes to do. There is always a desperate attempt to make a superstar. Michael Jackson, you couldn't ignore it. It's like Prince. No, it's also got Prince. This dude is wearing purple, doing spins in high heels, playing the piano and the guitar. You can't ignore it. So there are guys who wear it's in your face, but there are other people where social media is bullying you into them being great. It's even if they breathe or they wink, oh my gosh, the greatest things of all time. And maybe we could even veer off into religion. People love to create deities and they love to create things that are untouchable. It's like, I always say, I call it the MTV Cribs complex. I always say that, why are you watching MTV Cribs? Look at your house that you're living in and look at how much you're earning from your job. But you spend all day watching MTV Cribs, where these are some of the most ridiculous houses you've ever seen before. But people love that thing of, I can't attain that. That's a god. That's incredible. So what it is it isn't. So for Beyonce, it is not actual talent or so forth, genuine talent in the sense of a Michael Jackson or a Prince or a Tina Turner. It is, we just want to make her that thing. And really, for Beyonce, it's been created. And let me, before I kick it to you, let me give you this kicker right here. Beyonce has never made a classic album. More so, her sister, Solange Knowles, listen to Seats at the Table. Beyonce has not made an album as concise, as focused, or as good as Seats at the Table. But it's Solange Knowles. She isn't Beyonce. She doesn't have the same look and everything. Beyonce, she's just Beyonce's little sister. So even when I was listening to Formation, I know there's a lot of anger and emotion and everything, but musically, sonically, it's not hitting. So where do you stand on this whole Beyonce thing, man?
I think you make some very good points. I think at first, the whole, obviously, Destiny's Child, they really blew when TLC faded away. The need for
TLC was a great band, man. TLC was a great band.
The need for a female group, I guess, has always been there. When you think after Destiny's Child, you've obviously had Spice Girls, we've had Girls Aloud, we've had Pussycat Dolls. The most recent one is Little Mix. The need for a girls group has been there as long as I've been alive, and I think Destiny's Child filled that market mid-90s as TLC were fading away. And it's the message and the image of, strong, independent woman. And that's the message that, the songs say it alone, Obviously TLC singing They Don't Want No Scrub, and Destiny Child singing Bills, pay my telephone bills, pay my automobiles.
That's a real good track.
Listen, I sing it. Listen,
even if it's messed up, I'm like, no, it's a good track.
But Destiny's Child and Beyonce, for me, they're dangerous because this independent woman thing. And I'm not saying that a woman should be dependent on a man, but I don't subscribe to the feminist agenda. I really don't, because the feminist agenda side track and also side tracks or pushes to one side the man. And for me, to have a stable family, to have a stable society, you have to have both man and both woman. The feminist agenda doesn't do that. Now, I'm not saying the need for women empowerment isn't there. It is there. It's needed because women have been subjugated.
But see, the key thing here is this is the how you decipher. There is what was the general feminist movement and what I call the neo-feminist movement. The traditional feminist movement was women deserve to have more rights. They should have equal rights and they've been treated unfairly. The neo-feminist movement is we are here to take men away. We want power. We don't want equality. We want power.
Yeah.
But we want power disguised as equality.
Yeah. And I think the Destiny's Child, Beyonce, fed into that. 100% fed into that. And when that came to the forefront of society. And again, I don't have a problem with women empowerment. I'm all for women empowerment because I think a lot of especially the westernized societies, are way too male-dominated, and misogynistic, etc. But the lyrics that are in the songs, I don't think I want my daughter to be subscribing to those because it's
put a ring in it.
But then you look at if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And then but then she's talking about independent woman and don't need no man and while she's married to one of the most powerful men in the music industry. So it's like your actions and your words aren't exactly the same. Now I'm not saying you can't pay your own bills, but these women out there are looking for men, but then I'm hearing we don't need no man. I'm like, you need a man. Beyonce got her man, so she can sing about not needing a man because she's got a man. Why are you subscribing to a lifestyle that doesn't even relate to you. Beyonce and you are two different people, but she tapped into that mindset, that lifestyle, that sensitivity. Has Beyonce got a classic album? Well, Beyonce fans will tell you yes. But then I know, and I don't even necessarily mean, when I say fans, I'm not even talking about Beehive. For me, they're two different. There's fans and stans in it. Her album, Dangerous in Love, people will say, yeah, that's a classic album. You got like Me, Myself, and I on there, Crazy in Love, etc. Baby Boy with Sean Paul, arguably that's a classic album. I don't listen to Beyonce like that, so I'm not gonna say, I can't say for sure whether it is or isn't a classic album. But when it comes to performances, I think she's probably the best performer alive. Whether she's the best singer, or whether she is,
who is she competing against? It's like, what does that mean? Because what is the competition?
You can only what is it? You only beat what's in front of you. Whether she's not the best singer or she's not the best dancer, the singing and the dancing and the lights and the choreography, you put that all together and she produces the best, most consistent performances. When Beyonce performs, you know what you're going to get. And that's all the time. Can you say that for many of the counterparts who have come and gone in the time Beyonce's been alive? You can't. You can't say that. And I think that consistency alone puts her right up there when we're talking about GOATs. Now, for me, nobody can touch Michael Jackson. So it's not even a discussion when it comes to performances. It's not a discussion I even entertain. Michael Jackson is the greatest performer of all time. Full stop. Everyone else you can debate for second place, which just happens to be very, very far from first place. I don't have a problem. Do your debate. Talk about Prince, Tina Turner, Chris Brown. Do what you want. Don't care. Michael Jackson's untouchable. And I don't think I will ever see one in my lifetime who can. And and I would argue that the way the world is going, we will never, ever get another one, because there's less and less people going through that path. We spoke about Tupac and the fact they went to acting school, etc., etc. A lot of the music artists now are getting their fame from bringing out a YouTube video.
Yeah, the
YouTube video or the Insta goes viral, and then now they're music artists. They ain't gone through the rigors that the old artists used to really hone their skills and their talents. Beyonce did. Beyonce was, you might say, one of the last in terms of that era, so to speak, into the 2000s. But the further we go, we're going to get less and less of that because of technology. It has its good things, it has its bad things. Performance-wise, I can't knock Beyonce at all. Content-wise, I'm not a massive fan of her music, but I respect that whatever she's doing, people are loving it. Now, there's a saying, empty barrels make the most noise. Beyonce, if you weren't clued up, Beyonce fans would have you thinking this woman is the greatest singer, greatest dancer, greatest performer
of all time,
and the highest selling artist of all time. They'll have you thinking that. But when you actually look into it, and I think when it comes to R&B, you can look at numbers, because R&B has been, we'll say, popular culture for so long that if it's not selling, then it's not popular. So it defeats the purpose of the music that you're creating, because for me, it has been popular culture for so long. Rihanna has outsold Beyonce over 2 times the amount. And Rihanna don't get spoken about. Oh, it says it there. Rihanna don't get spoken about. Well, the Rihanna fans don't make as much noise as the Beyonce fans. But worldwide, Rihanna has sold more. Beyonce.
So is that actually a fact that Rihanna has sold more worldwide?
I mean, going to Wiki now is bloody Wiki, but going to Wiki now, Rihanna has sold 250 million certified sales. Beyonce, if I'm correct, I don't think she's touched 100 million. If you include Destiny's Child, it gets up to about 160, 170. But Rihanna is like top 5, 6 of all time. And then, obviously she's got a bigger reach now with the Fenty Beauty, etc., etc. But considering she ain't made an album in a good while now, Rihanna has sold more worldwide. Yeah, I think you need to type in a list of highest selling albums or something like that. A list of highest selling records, because it's everything, not just albums.
Is it highest selling female artist or highest selling?
If you do the highest selling records of all time or something like that, yeah, that one there, and it will come up. Rihanna sold like 250 million certified, not the album. Yeah, okay, a list of best-selling music artists. There it is. Go scroll down, scroll down. There it is. Yeah. So for me, I think Beyonce's fans make a lot of noise, but in reality, she ain't really up there with the girls. Where's Rihanna? Keep going a little bit. There's Rihanna.
Oh wow.
There's Rihanna. That's a 250 million, more than that. 279 million.
Oh my God, how's she on this list?
Certified units. Certified. But I think Beyonce for me is an American artist, African American artist, and Americans. And Beyonce, so Rihanna, she come from Barbados. I think she appeals to a much wider, American style. Has Beyonce got the versatility of Rihanna? No, she doesn't. Yes, she can rap, but does her music appeal to a wider?
I think Rihanna's musical ear is more varied and stuff.
Even though Beyonce is a better singer than her, to be fair.
And do you know what the thing is? Because before, like, I used to be like,
Rihanna. Sorry, you scroll down, and if you scroll down, keep going. Beyonce is like, it's under 100 million. I'm sure she is. I think she's below Nicki Minaj. She's below Nicki Minaj. I'm sure she is. What's that, 100? Keep going, keep going. Drake, she's below Drake. Below, is she below Jay-Z? Yeah, below Jay-Z. Below Jay-Z. 100 million we're in now. Look, Nicki Minaj.
Oh.
Beyonce. But the Beehive, if you weren't clued up, the Beehive would think she was top of the list. Empty Barrels made the most noise.
Do you know, if I went via Twitter and so forth, I would think Beyonce has sold about 1 billion.
Yeah. But I think Beyonce's personality is you might say consuming. And I would argue because of obviously Jay-Z, probably.
Wait. Whenever you want a dialogue about this dude, carry on.
Beyonce's influence worldwide can't be summed up in numbers. You can't look at a number and say this is how popular she is, because if she was to tour anywhere, she would probably bring a bigger crowd than the likes of Rihanna. Her name is out there, like she's loved. She's loved.
Oh, no. But for me, I think it also speaks to fanship, and so basically, like the Beehive as well, of where people have this necessity to be a fan and to idolize something, and they will fight. Like, even the existence of a Beehive is that for some people, a large part of their life is, I'm a Beyonce fan. I'm going to protect Beyonce at all costs. And I was like, why? For what reason? Why do you need to and everything? But if someone appeals to you so much, you'll fight tooth and nail for them. But so this is the point I was also going to make. See, whenever Beyonce like tries to be edgy or rap, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
But when Rihanna does it, because when I see Rihanna get interviewed and how she moves, I'm like, yeah, she is that kind of girl who you can buy her being edgy. I don't buy Beyonce being edgy. So for me, that's just you putting on a face or a cap to be like, okay, this is not me being edgy, where it doesn't feel as natural as Rihanna, where, no, Rihanna, basically, you could have a more interesting conversation with Rihanna than a Beyonce. Beyonce, like, you're like, this goddess who can't be touched. And Rihanna is probably as famous as Beyonce. But, the way she moves and the way that she puts herself across is different.
I think I didn't. Have you heard the remix that came out the other day? Yesterday I think it was Savage remix.
Look, okay, wait, very, very quickly. That's it, because the album, that's a damn good song, man. Like
The
the original,
remix or the original?
the original, because I downloaded her album when it came out. Pretty good album, very good song.
It must be a mixtape. She ain't got an album yet.
True, yeah, mixed up, yeah. See, and the songs are okay, because
I was gonna say the Savage remix. For me, I listened to it yesterday and I was like, it's all right. But based on Twitter, this was the best remix in remix history. I mean, if Busta wanted to jump on a remix, he couldn't touch this. And we know Busta does remixes. Like, I didn't understand.
The amount of memes, no, because I knew of the remix because she was trending.
Yeah.
The amount of memes say, oh my gosh, Beyonce has killed it. I'm like, whoa.
I thought maybe there was a music video with it. So I thought, okay, maybe she's, doing all the dance and all that. Obviously, it's all social distancing, isn't it? So there's no music video. So I was like, huh, okay, it's decent. But I've heard better Beyonce songs. Like for me, the best Beyonce song, or one of the best at least, is
Crazy Love was good. Crazy Love was a good track.
Listen, it's from the Dreamgirls film, but she's got the soundtrack. Listen, you get the full vocal range of Beyonce. It's not gimmicky. It's not trying to appeal to a certain crowd. It's just her singing the best she can, and then she throws a little dance into it. Then you've got Drunk in Love, which I think, for me, that's a brilliant song and video. I think it goes very well hand in hand. I love that one. And so I like Beyonce when she sings, and when she sings with some attitude. When she raps, I'm not for it. But then you even see the credit on this remix for the writers. I think Jay-Z wrote most of the bars.
Oh,
yeah, and I know she doesn't write most of her songs anyway. A lot of R&B artists don't write most of their songs, but rap, you write your rap bars. Like if you get caught, as Drake, Miller, whatever, yeah. If you get caught writing your bars, it's something. It's a big X on your name. She didn't write a rap bar, so I'm like, okay, it was alright, but you didn't write it, and it wasn't that great either. But because it's Beyonce, it's automatically great.
I think
me.
But basically, Beyonce has something similar to the Eminem effect. They can take a crap and people will say it's gold. And you know why that's dangerous? Is the worst thing you can have as an artist is you don't have honest people around you to say, nah, this sucks. Because if all you have are yes men where anything you bring out is amazing, how do you know if you're fully pushing your artistry forward, if you're not being properly critiqued by the audience? So
I'm actually going to drop a tweet now. Do Beyonce fans think Beyonce ever made a bad song?
Oh.
I've never heard them say she's made a bad song. Everything is just great.
Basically,
my friend has made some bad songs.
No, basically, you should drop a tweet. You should drop a tweet to say who has sold more records, Rihanna or Beyonce.
But people are just gonna go and Google the thing.
No, but people's initial thing will be like, of course it's Beyonce. Who the hell is Rihanna? The disparity between them it shocked me.
Massive. It's massive.
I didn't think it was this big.
I didn't.
Okay, so basically, guys, last 10-15 minutes, and we'll just take a few questions, last 10-15 minutes before we get out of here. So, we could say, talk about the decline of the WWF. Do you call it the WWE or WWF?
I still call it WWF.
Yeah. WWF.
Why did they change it from Federation to Entertainment? Was it copyright?
Very briefly, I remember this, because I remember way back when the Panda, World Wildlife Fund, I said, oh gosh, oh yeah, so two things are called WWF. So I said to myself, wait a minute. You had all this time to sue them and to argue for the name. Why do it now? For what reason? So for me, that's just stupid. But for me, put it very simply, is it's the change of society and non people. The WWF was built on personalities and the kind of personalities that you could find. You can't compare John Cena to The Rock. You can't compare Randy Orton to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like for me, the
I,
last
I remember when because when The Rock left, John Cena picked up the name the Peeps Champ, and I was like, how dare you, the People's Champion to the Peeps Champ? And as The Rock said when he came to WrestleMania, you can't see me. You can't see me. I can see you. I can see you. And you're looking. Listen, you don't get that anymore. The Rock is. I'll tell you. Wow, what?
no. I mean, I was like, The Rock is the most influential wrestler of all time. Like he made the biggest impact of all time. Like The Rock's impact was just it was huge. But for me, see, wrestling hasn't it's declined for me, but it hasn't declined overall because look, those guys can still start out. So credit to Vince McMahon. He knows that what do people want now? Let's create what is cool and what people want now. Like this was just the era of John Cena. Now this is the era of whoever the heck is the champion now and everything. Like the Attitude Era was, remember, late 90s, edgier films, edgier music and so forth. So the 90s was just a very edgy time. So it made sense to go away from the whole Hulk Hogan, good old thing, Shawn Michaels thing, and enter into the anti-establishment of Steve Austin and the Rock was insulting everyone. So the world isn't as edgy as it was in the Attitude Era. So a John Cena is reflective of what is cool and interesting now. The guys that you see now are because the world isn't as interesting as it was back then. So this is the reality they have.
Bring up that question from which one was it? 1 second. From Michael Thompson.
Is it this one?
Yeah. Now I was just thinking because
it's tricky because they represent two very different approaches to martial arts.
Yeah.
In terms of one-on-one combat, choreography 101, Jet Li is one of the fastest I've ever seen. In terms of stunts and doing things for real, nobody. People, you know what? Jackie Chan is still underrated. People need to say what Jackie Chan has done is quite ridiculous. This guy is no wires, no green screen. It's him.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, like, I know he's not necessarily just talking about films, but if you look at Rush Hour, like Rush Hour 1 to 3 are iconic.
Oh, superb.
I mean, Jet Li's films are brilliant as well. But Rush Hour 1 to 3, I know it's not just him. Obviously, Chris Tucker's, he's a big element to that. But imagine you got rid of Jackie Chan, you lose Rush Hour, and wow, what is it good for?
No. Rush Hour was hilarious, man. Okay, wait. There's this one I want to bring in. Is The Rock bigger than Hulk Hogan? You see, but you obviously heard about the whole Hulk Hogan racism stuff.
No, I don't. I don't know about that.
Oh. Do you know what? Okay, so basically, apparently he was unhappy that his daughter was going out with a black guy. And I think he basically used the N-word and all this kind of stuff in a thing. I know what it's so painful. I haven't brought myself to listen to the answer machine because I was the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. Huge. Bro, I was the biggest. Because look, I was born in the late 80s. So I was very much during that whole Hulk Hogan time when I was young in Nigeria. But The Rock, SmackDown exists because of The Rock. He created a segment. What The Rock did was basically put it this way: The Rock is the biggest movie star in the world because of wrestling, not because of his films. His popularity and the reason why he can get so many huge films is because of wrestling. Hulk Hogan tried to go into film, but his film career is nowhere close as the film career that The Rock has forged for himself. So that just shows you how huge he was, that he's become the biggest movie star in the world, making not a single quality film because people loved him so much from wrestling.
Is The Rock, what should I say? Is the Rock without Hulk Hogan before him?
No,
Because
Hulk
I would,
Hogan wasn't because remember Hulk Hogan started WrestleMania,
yeah. So I
so
think
yeah,
obviously I think
he was needed.
took it onto another level. There's always levels to this, isn't it? And maybe there comes a point where maybe you can't, you're not going to get a bigger artist or a bigger, athlete, whatever it is, than one before. But when someone comes before, then it's the role of the next person to build on it, And I think The Rock just took it to another level. He just took the whole wrestling to, I would say, like for people who don't watch wrestling, who are not, because I wasn't a massive wrestling fan, but I was, actually no, I wasn't a wrestling fan in general, to be fair, but I was a Rock fan, and The Rock and Stone Cold and that rivalry, and then I had to go get the games and that kind of stuff. So I was a fan of The Rock, even though I didn't care about wrestling. Like how you might say people are a fan back then were a fan of Pele and didn't really care about football. Like that's how much The Rock was. I don't know. I'm not sure if Hulk Hogan had the same reach outside of wrestling that The Rock had.
No, like those Rock Stone Cold fights, because they used to do a thing where like you could vote, so you'd have like the skull and the Brahma Bull, and you could vote for who you think would win. The hype of those fights was huge. I think about wrestling is that wrestling, unlike sports, is that it's made to entertain you. So you will always be entertained because they'll do a storyline to make it to entertain you, man. Say, Nick, isn't it past your bedtime?
It's past my bedtime. You're right. I got work tomorrow.
So just like a few questions and we'll better here. What are your favorite films? Actually, most guys know my favorite films. So what are your favorite films?
My favorite film of all time is Malcolm X, starring Denzel Washington. And that's mainly, but it's the reason because I have a big passion for Malcolm X as a person, and I think Denzel Washington epitomized that character so well. Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. I would say those are probably 2 and 3. I would actually say Godfather 1, 2 are the greatest films ever made, but for me, my favorite was Malcolm X. Now, I'm not going to put Godfather 3 there. However, Godfather 3
it's a good film.
Underrated because it followed, for me, 2 of the greatest films of all time. People trash it. Obviously, we know it came out a considerable time later, but when you compare it in isolation to many other gangster films, it's right up there. It's actually right up there.
Actually, do you know a little bit of a pop quiz on Godfather 3? You know Robert Duvall was supposed to be in Godfather 3.
No, I didn't.
He was supposed to be, but they offered Pacino like a really hefty amount.
Yeah.
And Duvall said that I want something, not the same, but close to it. Coppola and the studio didn't give him something like that. And Duvall said, "You're insulting me by not really giving me that." So Duvall said, "I'm going to pull out," because it was weird that, wait a minute, how is Tom Hagen not in 3? Because he became family, And also, Godfather 2, Pacino said that the one role that was hardest to get rid of was Godfather 2. Because that's he just went to a place so deep that it was very hard for him to get rid of that. Because, bro, Pacino I was like, there's something wrong with this dude in this film.
And another great film for me, have you seen this? 12 Angry Men.
Great film.
Brilliant film. You know what? So great. It's black and white. Well, I have no reason to be watching a black and white film, but I was captivated. And to add to that, the whole thing pretty much was filmed inside one room. Created a whole story that just had me locked in one room. No fancy effects other than the rain outside, and you had to open the window and close. Listen, that film is brilliant.
Oh, no. You see, for me, that is amazing acting and amazing writing, because it just shows you that you don't need 300 locations and special effects to make an amazing film. As long as it's a great story.
Yep.
That's what you need. Because as human beings, we just want to be captivated by, we want to know oh, what happens next?
Next.
It can be in a toilet. If you can make the story compelling enough in a toilet, we're hooked. And the whole thing about it was just how different you saw the characters. Because again, for people out there, watch it. 12 Angry Men. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it is a great film you have to watch. But the beauty about it is just how it slowly builds up, how it presents the story, they present the thing, and just how you see basically the arc of each character. Almost every single character has an arc.
Yeah.
That's one place and they end another place.
Some of the characters, you don't hear from them, and then all of a sudden, they're the main, and you're looking at them like, oh, that guy's sick. Like, he made a big impact on that, on the, the final, this, that. I don't want to give it away, but 12 Angry Men. And it's funny, it's funny. The first time I ever saw it, I don't think I watched it from the beginning. My brother was watching it on TV. And I was like, oh, what is this this black and white old film you're watching, man? And before I knew it, like the film was done, I was like, oh my goodness, that was brilliant.
Okay. So let's do. So final question here, man. Did you hear this whole Katie Couric Denzel Washington thing?
No, I didn't. Why?
Okay, so this is the headlines. Basically, Katie Couric is this like a white blonde, very famous newscaster person, and the thingy was Katie Couric says that I recall an interview years ago where I had a difficult interview with Denzel Washington, and he then pounced all over me. Now, when you read that headline, you'd think, oh my God, did Denzel sort of now sexually grope? Or because my initial thing was like, but Denzel is the blackest black guy I ever know. He's like my hero. So I was like, why would he be doing? But I was like, please God, please let Denzel not be doing this. They've released a transcript of this. And when you read this transcript, this is where it goes back to the whole Emmett Till thing of what you said and what we see in this transcript are worlds apart. He had a disagreement based on you likening him to Hollywood folk. Basically, when we get on Twitter, I will link it to you on Twitter, the transcript, because you likened him to Hollywood folk. I said, because he was like, wait, what do you mean that I'm like that? Because he didn't want to be represented like Hollywood folk, and Denzel as how he is. And I've seen Denzel do this in other interviews. If you say something about him, because Denzel isn't Hollywood, he's still that dude. And if you say certain things, he will be that dude, But the danger is when you just look at a headline, as we said before earlier, cancel. Oh my gosh, Denzel is canceled. But I was like, whoa, wait a chill. What did he actually say?
Yeah.
Because it's the whole same thing of like, believe her. I believe her. No. What's happened? Show the evidence. You can't just believe, so, okay, I got raped. Oh my gosh, I must believe. We must believe women. Must believe women. No. As what happened to Anders Azari, the comedian, he was about to get cancelled. When you saw what actually happened, you're like, oh no. She just was unhappy that he rejected her, and she made up and cooked up a story, thinking that people would think with her. So it's the stuff is wild, bro.
Link it to me. There's one question I just wanna from Jan: Tekken or Street Fighter?
You see, I was never a fighting game guy.
Oh my goodness!
So basically, the only time I really was into fighting was SNES, Mortal Kombat.
Okay, yeah. See, that's the thing. So I had NES and I had SNES. SNES, yeah, Mortal Kombat, Johnny Cage, Sub-Zero, all of that. Street Fighter was on Sega. I think Street Fighter was on Sega.
I think was this on SNES as well. I'm pretty sure it was on Mega Drive, but I think it was on SNES. I think it was on SNES as well.
I on SNES. So I went from Mortal Kombat to Tekken. So I got PS1 after SNES, and Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 3. That's the last one I bought or got for me. And then after that, I was playing like Tekken 4, Tekken. For me, Tekken was the best. I love the stories in Tekken, like how you win the characters, and like especially on Tekken 3, where for every character you go through the round, you get to the end, then each character has a different story, and it's to get Armor King, you have to complete it with King. To get I don't know, for example, it's probably not this, but to get Tiger, for example, you have to complete with Eddie. To get who was that Panda and all that kind of thing, you have to complete with certain people to get that person. Now, actually, now I don't know how it was. I think you get all the characters straight away, but they moved to a point where you can complete it with one person, and you just get characters, or you win characters in order, no matter who you compete with. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay. It's quick to get the characters, but are you learning about King and his story, Yoshimitsu and his story? Like,
Yoshimitsu.
Listen, Tekken was brilliant. I loved it, man. I loved it.
Okay. Sure. I think this guy says that 12 Angry Men is the third suggestion when you search 12 on YouTube. So basically, he's basically
search 12 and not 2, because if you search 2, you might get a video that you don't want to see.
Yeah. I think that. Okay, so basically next week, man, I'm gonna just hang around with these guys for like a few more. So thanks very much. We have to do, because I know where your mind is at. We have to do. We'll maybe set it up. I want to do a Malcolm X, Martin Luther King thing with you, and I also want to do a Nelson Mandela thing with you, breakdown. Because me and Daniel, we did like top 5 most influential Black people, and people were angry that I didn't put Mandela on that list.
Anyway, we'll discuss.
All right, next man. Peace, man. Thanks, bro.
Guys, stay safe, stay blessed.
Peace. All right, guys. Look, man, I am yours, man, for maybe the next half hour, man. For the next half hour, I am yours, man. So send any cues across to your boy. Wait, what do you mean by Mandela is white? In what sense? No, but look, man, I mean, I don't think this isn't the right time to do the Mandela thing. I think it is going to be dedicated to a particular streamer. But it's a deep breakdown as to Nelson Mandela, you know, because what I always say to people is, don't just accept what the media puts forth towards you. Think critically. That's the key thing. Oh yeah, guys, by the way, the Movie Merchants Reddit is out. So in the description box below, everybody join up the Reddit for talking about movies. It's called Movie Merchants. So the Reddit link is in the description below. Description below is right there for it. Actually, let me even link you guys to it right now. Let me link you guys up. You see, I haven't heard any of his music. I haven't heard any of Travis Scott's music because people keep on mentioning this dude. Okay, got it. So he obviously must be super famous or super big time. But because the thing about it is that it's like Gold Link. I remember people talking about, Gold Link, and like, it's very hard for me to get into new music because I'm like, this is my old music, boom, I'm like it, because remember, I got into Kendrick Lamar because when he lost the Grammy to that white dude, that white rapper, I forgot what he's called, Thrift Shop. But my thing is, so that's how I got into Kendrick Lamar. So I always get into new characters by mistake. Sorry, new artists by mistake. But I would check out Travis Scott. So this is the thing now. So yeah, so that is the link for the Reddit. Basically, Reddit is like a forum. But the cool thing about Reddit is it is very mobile friendly. So unlike IMDb and so forth, where it is built for mobile devices. So it is very easy to talk to people, post things and everything. So for instance, if I have like a film recommendation I want you guys to watch, I'll post it in a thread, and we can now discuss it amongst a thread. And it is very basically it's very easy to view stuff and post stuff via your mobile phone because it is made for desktops, computers, and mobile phones as well. So yeah, like no, it's really good. It's a really good thing, man. Um, it's a really good thing. Um, so my thing is, um, what's I gonna say? Yeah, like it's always by mistake how I get introduced to all this stuff, man. You know, because yeah, by Kendrick Lamar, it was just it was a mistake of how I got in there, man. Let's see. Do you listen to Young Thug or Lil Uzi? Nope. You see, these are all these new artists that I don't know. Like the only new artists I listen to are Kendrick, J. Cole, and Goldlink. See, Goldlink is really good. For me, he is because I love his rap style and how he raps because he raps in a very unique way. So I just like how he does his thing, man. But okay, let me ask you guys this then. So right now, would you say Beyonce is the best performer? Two questions. Would you say Beyonce is the best performer in the world right now? And where would you rank Beyonce as a performer all time? Those are two questions. And also Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X as Muslims, they had a really big impact on us Muslims. Oh, I mean, they were huge. I think they popularized Islam. I think before them, um, Islam was just was a thing, but I think they really made Islam almost cool. As in, oh, this is interesting. Like, why are these? Because even when I was even watching the Malcolm X film, I was like, oh wow, look at the teachings his given, and look at how different Malcolm X was before he found Islam and after he found Islam. So yeah, they did a lot to really popularize Islam. So yeah, you know, they made it super famous, man. Oh wow, okay. So all-time top 10. Um, is if Lil Pump is the dude with the colorful hair and the tattoos on his face who made that song with um what's it called? Kanye Kanye West. I think I'm I think I'm cool on that dude, man. So who's this? Is this Goldlink? He's really inspired a whole generation of rappers to today. Is that Goldlink? Because I've now been trying to go deep into Goldlink's kind of his catalog, man. But his last album was really good. He has a song with Tyler the Creator, which is a really good track. You know, a really good track. So yeah, he's cool. But do you know a really good band? The Internet. I know. Crazy name for a band. Really look up The Internet. Like on Spotify or something. Quality band, man. Look them up, man. Really good band. How many Tupac albums have you listened to? You see, I've listened to Machiavelli, Me Against the World. Years ago, I listened to All Eyes on Me. Years ago. I think those are the ones I've listened to. Like, guys, trust me. I've the thing with music is it either hits you or it doesn't. It either hits you or it doesn't. Like when I hear like "Do for Love" or "Keep Your Head Up," I'm like, that's an amazing track. Like the first time I listened to it, the first time I heard "Do for Love," I was like, oh, this is one of my favorite songs of all time. So it's always on my playlist. Like it's been on my playlist the first time I heard it. But I've never been able to say, wow, this is a great Tupac album. Like for me, it's like when you listen to Illmatic, I always use Illmatic as an example. When you listen to Illmatic or even Doggy Style, obviously Doggy Style, even when you listen to Doggy Style, there is a consistency and a conciseness of that album from beginning to bottom. For me, okay, Illmatic is tough, but if you want to make a great album, you should try and look at Illmatic as your benchmark. And think about Illmatic is it's great music, but it is a message, it is concise, and there is a rhythm and there is a consistency to it from the very top to the very bottom, and I think that is what you should try and strive for um in in an album, so um okay. Look, bro, the last time I rapped was a long time ago. Okay. You see, the last time I rapped, the last time I made an album, I was in my teens. Okay. I've made me and my friend, we were like a small rap group. It wasn't serious, it was a small rap group. We made 2 albums, one on tape, one on CD. So the last time I properly was okay, I'm not gonna rap. I was in my teens. Um so because I was in my teens, it's like, like it's a long so but give or take maybe a few years. Maybe a few years you may see me pull out a few of the raps, if a few of the lyrics, a few lines, a few bars, a few bars. You may see your boy right through them, man. Um, I think, yeah. Look, I think, yeah. This is the fair thing. Is like, see, whenever people sort of come and say, "Oh, Islam is this or that," remember the KKK used the Bible to enslave black people, and that is the danger of religion, because some people can use the book and interpret it for evil. That's the danger. People can use it and interpret it for evil. So there are some people out there that interpreted it for evil, and wanted just to bring harm. So same thing with in Islam. There are people out there who are like, we're going to take this piece and say we're doing it in the name of Islam. So it's like, then can you now paint Islam um, in one light because of what the few people have done? No. So it ain't gonna happen, man. Run the jewels. So yeah, actually, I think they have like a new track. We're actually gonna tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow we're doing top 10 sequels, man. That's gonna be fun. Top 10 sequels of all time. It's gonna be fun, man. I mean, we're gonna because I think I'm gonna do my list tonight, man. I'm gonna write my list tonight. Top 10 sequels. And I might start Naruto. No, sorry. I might start volume 4 of Naruto tonight. Bit of Naruto manga. Get myself a nice little, small little meal, and do so much. Yeah, what should I eat tonight? I think I may have noodles. Yeah, I think I might have some noodles too tonight. I'm gonna have some noodles, chill out, and do some reading, man. I've walked. I have streamed like crazy today. Um. Oh wow. Says religion should be inducted, brainwashing. You see, for me, see, knowing people who are religious and so forth, that's not for me to say. Because again, like my mom is super religious and stuff. So I think, you just have to do what's best for you. I grew up religious, and now I say I'm more spiritual than really religious. For me, because religion just did not work for me, but there are aspects of religion that do help me in my life. And at the end of the day, is whatever helps you and ensuring it doesn't harm anyone. Anytime you do something that harms other people, then it's wrong. And the issue with religion is that, and there are aspects of religion that really help people who are depressed, living through difficult times, who need something to uplift themselves, and religion offers them that. Religion mainly saves people from committing suicide or harming themselves. But on the other side, you have people who use religion for evil, and they justify their actions when they said, God said that this guy should be killed. Because so that's always the issue, is that the Bible isn't a clear, concise doctrine. It is open to interpretation. And whenever anything is open to interpretation, people can use it for their own means and use it to justify crap, man. Yeah, bro, I've not yet listened to Burna Boy, man. I will get there, bro. Don't worry. You see, have you heard of these guys called Las Vegas? They are the number one channel for reacting to music, but they get copyright claims all the time. Like literally every single time, these guys will get copyright claim over copyright claim over copyright claim. So, and yeah, I don't. So yeah, like it's just too much to deal with, because these music companies come hard at you, bro. So yeah, but I'll try and find a way. Because one, I'm thinking of doing, because I've now found a way to extract audio from like videos and stuff. So what I'm going to try and do is, because I'm going to open up like a member section on this channel, and members can basically watch anime with me, watch cartoons with me, watch films with me and stuff. But it has now been done offline. So it's where I post a link to members and stuff, and they can then come and watch films, cartoons, listen to songs and so forth with me. And then maybe we'll listen to a Tupac album, and we can then vibe away. So, look, you decided to watch Rec, but the key thing is this: did you watch it lights off, in the dark? If you watch it in the dark, lights off, you're insane. You're insane. So that's what I'm saying. If you watched Rec with the lights off, completely dark, in total darkness, you're insane. You're insane. So, bro, there is no way in hell I'm ever watching The Blind Side. Because as soon as I saw the story and what it's about, I'm like, nah, sorry, bro. Nah. There is no way in hell that I'm watching the Blind Side, man. It's not my kind of film, man. Oh, see, the reason I watched into films because of you. Oh, look, bro, films. It's just that I have so much stuff to do, and I have to keep on just keeping stuff on the content, work on different things, speak to people. If I had time, all I'd watch are films. And the thing about me is that there are certain, like, I've got like my favorite films. I can watch my favorite films 10, 50, 20 times a year easily. Because for some people, I think I spoke to a guy that said, wait, how can you watch a film more than once? Like, I have seen Batman, the first Batman film, and The Matrix Reloaded maybe about 30, 40, or 50 times, because it's just good going through the emotions of that. But yeah, no. I'm obsessed with films. I am a complete tot. That's why it's called Movie Match, and that's why the Reddit group is called Movie Matches, man. I'm obsessed with films, man. So um Get Out and It are tier one. Um bro, it's because for me, I've always hated clowns. Like the whole concept. Even if I think Krusty the Clown is cool, I've always been a bit iffy on clowns. There's one scene in It Chapter 1 that, because I watched it with my friend, all I'll say is the projector. So all I'll say is the projector. That scene there, messed up, man. Completely and utterly messed up, you know. But then I just don't get why people like horror movies, man. It's like, why do people like being scared? It's like, you know, I actually don't understand why people like being scared, man. Wait, bro, wait. This is literally the film I recommended. I told you because I recommended people that watch. Um, as a recommendation, watch the game starring Michael Douglas. That's what I said. Watch the game starring Michael Douglas, man. That's what I said that you guys should watch, man. So yeah, no, yeah, quality film, quality film, man. Um, but yeah, no. Look, actually, you know what? I don't know what it was. There's this video that some people got sent, and it's like this video where like you're doing something, and then basically I don't. Just like if I can find it, I'll tell you. But there's this thing, this video that someone sends you that you do something, and they just show this crazy thing, and you're like, "Whoa, what the?" So is like for me, horror films. Like I'm good, For me, like after Exorcist, I'm cool. I'm cool. After Exorcist, I'm cool. You know. So wait, is The Boys the Amazon series about like realistic superheroes with what's the name of that dude? The dude who was Dread. I think yeah, it was the dude who was Dread. Um, yeah, I might say that, man. Um, okay, so look, man. Before I head out, man, because I need to chill. So, what genre do guys want, man? So, are we doing horror, drama, sci-fi, or action? And then I'll give you a recommendation based on the genre. So, action, drama, sci-fi, thriller, historical. And then I'll give you guys a recommendation to watch, man. Wait, is The Grudge the one with the girl in the TV screen and the tape, which was obviously based off the Japanese film, the original Japanese film? If it is, yeah, I think I watched the original, not the American one, but I think I watched the original. See, wait, so you people who are into horror, why? Why are you into horror? So let me think. So let me think. What's an interesting? Okay, so sorry, The Ring. The Ring. You're right. The Ring. Okay, so drama. I think of a good drama. Let me think. What's a good drama? No, see, no, that's a thriller. If you haven't already, The Great Debaters. The Great Debaters with Denzel, Forrest Whitaker, Nate Parker. Watch that. Watch that. Great Debaters. I don't think is there another. No, that's a thriller. Yeah, watch that. So thriller. If you haven't already, Infernal Affairs, the Hong Kong film, the original to The Departed. If you've already seen Infernal Affairs, which you should have, but if you've already seen Infernal Affairs, a film in English, a good thriller. What's the name of this film? Wait. Um, 8mm. 8mm. Watch that. 8mm, man. For me, I keep on saying that, man. Black Dynamite. Watch that. Because it's, first of all, it's an amazing comedy and it fits into either a black movie or comedy. But yeah, if you haven't watched Black Dynamite, you must watch that. If you ever watched Black Dynamite, you must watch that, bro. So look, I mean, for horror, well, look, Candyman is obviously a famous one, man. Like, see that that's a classic. Candyman. Candyman is a classic. Not as scary as Wreck, but just like a classic horror film. And yeah, 8mm is with Nick Cage. Joaquin Phoenix had a very small role in it, but it's Nick Cage. The guy who wrote Seven wrote 8mm. You know, so that's one source. I mean, it's not as good as Seven, but it's still very good. It is very dark, like really, really dark, like really dark and messed up and just completely twisted. You know. See, now I'm thinking what I should watch tonight because I was. Yeah, you know, because I follow Michael Jai White on Instagram, and he was definitely like, but remember, I think because the pandemic hit, I think they slowed things down. So they slowed down production when the pandemic hit. But I think it's still going to come out, but it's just going to come out later on, man. All right. So, guys, this is it from your boy. What film should I watch tonight? I'm trying to think. See, for me, I always decide on whether I should watch a film I've already seen or watch a new film. I was thinking of watching Heat. You know, but yeah, I've seen Black Hawk Down. I've seen Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down is no very well filmed, very well directed. You know, that's what I'll say. Very well directed. Black Hawk Down is very well directed, man. But I think and the amounts of I think Ewan McGregor was there, Tom Hardy was there. There's so many people that were in there. So wait, what parts of I don't watch horror movies? Do you understand? I don't watch horror movies. Exorcist has scarred me for life. Okay? So it is what it is. Exorcist has scarred me for life. So, all right. So you want me to sit down and waste my precious time watching a film starring someone called Brie. Brie. And look, after I heard what they did to Nick Fury, in that, because I heard, because I watched the review, after what I heard of what they did to Nick Fury, there is no way I am watching Captain Marvel. So screw that film, man. But actually, no, I'm thinking of what should I watch, man? What should I watch? What should I watch, man? All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to try and figure something out. Say, guys. So tomorrow is the top 10 sequels with me and Machine. We'll be back here doing our thing. Thanks for the support. Doing a thing. And remember, guys, check out the Reddit. I will be posting film links and everything on the Reddit. But beyond that, stay true, stay real, stay safe.